wanted to ask you, have you heard of ICT?
Let's get controversial, right? Yeah, I mean, total scam, this guy, right? He has, faked also trading statements, not only once, a couple of times.
I believe he says that he coded the algorithm.
Yeah, like
behind
what
the
fucking algorithm do you fucking mean? Like, I'm pretty new to this online social media space, right? And I was never exposed to social media. I never watched any kind of YouTube learning tutorial video. Never in my life. I never touched a trading book in my life, right? So what I've realized that is like so much nonsense going on there. It's like horrible. It's like cringe.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the No Limit podcast. We have a very special guest here with us today, Bernd Skorupinski. How are you doing?
Perfectly pronounced. Thank you so much for inviting me. I always say that in the beginning because sometimes people really butcher my name.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been watching you a ton lately, so I've been hearing your name a lot. So I hope I wouldn't butcher it. And guys, you guys already know when there's a big guest, we got our main man, Ollie Trades, right here on the pod.
Appreciate it.
I thought this would be a good sit down for, you're in LA. Me and Ollie both are obviously also traders. And I thought this would be a good discussion for all of us to sit down, kind of bounce ideas off of each other. And I quickly obviously want to go over a quick background, but at the end of the day, you've been on so many amazing podcasts. I've heard a bunch about you. I want to go over like basically how you got to where you're at. You know what I'm saying? Like it's key like things that got you to where you're at and like what we could kind of tell people out there, that are kind of struggling to become a trader. So first off, I just want to say once again, thank you for being here.
Thank you for the invite. It was all like short notice, organized.
Yeah.
So like perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So Bernd is originally from Dubai, but he's on like, would you say a little tour going from?
Yeah, world podcast tour. So I started in London.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I started in London. Then I went to Africa, to Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And now to US, LA and Miami. After that, Bali. And then I'm gonna go to Thailand.
Awesome.
And after that, now I'm invited to Puerto Rico. Like,
Oh, wow. Nice,
yeah.
nice.
So I think it's
tour.
like, yeah, whole tour, like, it finishes mid of August. So
Okay.
it's gonna be long.
That's long.
Yeah.
What kind of inspired it? What made you want to do this?
I'm so passionate about, I don't know, I just so passionate talking about trading.
Yeah.
Like, I can talk about trading the whole day. Right? So,
Yeah.
like, literally, that's how
Yeah.
passionate I am
Mhm.
about what I'm doing. And that's why I like to, it sounds a bit corny, but I like to inspire people as well. I like to talk like real trading, basically, because
Yeah.
what I've realized, I'm pretty new to this online social media space, right? So what I've realized that is like so much nonsense going on there. It's like horrible. It's like cringe. I cannot
Yeah.
watch that stuff.
Yeah,
so that's
exactly.
why I feel like sometimes I need to set a new standard sometimes in the industry.
That's
And you
good.
kind of have. I
Yeah.
feel like your media kind of has set a new standard. I've been watching a ton of like your new YouTube videos and even like your reels and stuff is such high quality. Is that something that, because like you said, you weren't really in the media space before. Like when you kind of came in, were you like, no slacking, I'm gonna do my own thing and kind of just people will love it? Yeah. Is that what
Yeah,
you're doing?
just do my own thing. Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's awesome. No, like I said, the level of quality, and like you said, you loved like going around and spitting basically gems to just everyone. Every podcast you go on that I've listened to, so many just good takes on different parts of trading when it's like psychology or technical analysis or even educating people about fundamentals.
Yes.
Because a lot of people overlook that. And that's one thing that Ollie was like a big person that helped me out was actually implementing fundamentals into
Cool.
my
I
trading
didn't know that.
because
Yeah.
I was mostly technical analysis based. So, I guess that's a good question to kind of go over first is like, how important is fundamentals to you in your trading?
It's everything.
Mhm.
It's where I get the bias. Without the fundamentals, I would never get into a trade.
Yeah.
Like to simplify it. Never, right?
Yeah.
It gives me the bias.
So what's your main steps like to figuring out your fundamental analysis?
Oh, that's we
Quick.
could fill it down.
Quick summary. Yeah.
Quick in 1 minute.
Yeah.
In 1 minute. Let me try that. So we developed our own tools, our own proprietary indicators. But I don't like the word indicators. I would like rather say forecasting tools because indicators are usually what people refer to it as like something derived from price, but they're derived from fundamentals. What are fundamentals to me? Everything that is not derived from price, right?
Yeah.
Just it's the opposite. So I look basically at some kind of derived COT data. I look at valuation models versus the dollar versus interest rates, the treasury bonds, futures. Versus valuation models versus gold, and also at kind of seasonality and also market cycles.
Okay. Is the indicator that you use like as simple as like maybe like a moving average where if it's kind of above it, you're bullish and below it? Or
Yeah, in a way it is, because what is the problem with fundamentals in general is that is in a way subjective. right? So if you just have the data by itself, some news releases or whatsoever, right? Or Fed releases, interest rate releases, it's very subjective in a way. Everybody interprets these things differently, right?
Yeah.
So we try to make it as objective as possible to look like a moving average or to look like a stochastics or like an RSI, but it's not like derived from price, it's derived from that data. And it's all futures data basically. So everything I do is basically, and I feel like this gives me also an edge, and I want to educate people on that, the importance of futures.
Okay.
Right? Because since I'm also like a prop trader and it's like FX prop trading, everybody's just Forex. But most of these Forex products, the CFD products, all of them actually are derived from futures.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why the futures is the underlying asset. So that's why, I mean, the underlying asset, that's what moves the market. So that's why you have to, in my books, you have to analyze the underlying asset to make to make a trade on the CFD, on the derivative.
Yeah. Is there any way to tell, like, for a consolidating market? Because once again, if it's either above or below, like I guess I'm trying to ask is, like, how do you know, based upon your bias, like, if it's not going to be like choppy?
If it's not choppy,
I'm just trying to think, like, how do you basically be able to tell, like, bullish or bearish? But sometimes it does consolidate. Like, do you trade consolidation?
It does consolidate, and that's why sometimes it's more like a waiting game, and then you have to be patient. And that's why when it comes to the fundamentals, this is not how I time the market then in this case, right? It just gives me a bias, but the bias doesn't mean I have to go long now or I have to short now, basically. Then I move to step 2, which are my technicals. And if I'm not in a level where I want to be technically, I'm trading supply and demand, so whatever you like.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I just love picking your brain.
Yeah.
You know,
so no, it's fine. If I'm not in one of these levels, basically, where I want price to be, then I'm just waiting. Okay. So it's a combination of both, and I call that kind of a all stars aligned trade when both basically the fundamentals.
It's like your A+, you know? Like
my A+, and I only trade A+. Exactly. That's
Which is, I mean, why you've
amounted to what you've done. Number one FTMO trader. For anyone out there who maybe is new to Burn, he is the number one paid out FTMO trader. He's been paid out over like 120 times, has all the certificates. And you know, not a lot of people can basically have that credibility because that is such a large thing. I want to get into that a little bit later because I know you guys do have I don't know, there's a couple of questions I want to ask with your relationship with FTMO, but I want to go back a little bit to how you kind of brought up how you want to educate people on why futures is so important, because a lot of my audience and people who watch this are all Forex based and just trying to do all this. So I feel like if you can say anything to try and tell them like why it is important to be able to like learn futures, or like why they should or how to, would be really, I think, beneficial to them.
Well, first of all, futures is a regulated market, right?
Yep.
So, and this is the underlying asset. Like if you trade, a lot of people trade gold, right? XAU, but the underlying asset is actually at GC, which is the futures market, right? So
I'm saying to people that wouldn't understand that, you know.
Or actually, and it was quite funny because it's a quite funny story, because when I went into the social media space and everybody was asking me, are you trading US 30? And I was like, what the fuck is US 30?
That's what I'm saying.
And I was like, then I think I had to Google or check the brokerage platforms, and I realized that, hey, that's at YM, that's the Dow Jones, it's at YM, it's not US 30, but everybody's saying like US 30, but that's just not right? It's just because that's a derivative. Right. And if you look at both charts, actually, they sometimes look not completely different, but they can differ.
100%.
And what I realized is that if I mark, because I'm trading supply and demand, so if I mark a demand level on the US 30 or I mark a demand level on the real futures, it might happen that the demand level on the US 30, it breaks, the price goes through it, but it holds on the futures because the price is a little bit different.
Exactly.
Right? So that's why I always analyze the futures, and I have to wait for price hit basically the demand level in the futures, and then I can only execute on the Forex, because that's the underlying asset.
That's happened a ton with Forex brokers, at least in my opinion. Is that, I mean, from all the years I've been trading, there definitely will be times where I'll be looking at my trading view chart, and let's say I do have a demand level where I'm like, all right, my stop loss is below here, but I'll put it on my broker and the broker would take out that level. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely is important out there, guys. Like I said, this is all like gems to understand. Futures is taking a big kind of like step in right now. Like a lot of people are trying it out, so it is.
Yeah, with everything shutting down, everybody's kind of been, a lot of people have made the switch.
What's your opinion on leverage?
Yes, sorry,
no, keep on.
No, but then futures is a little bit more complex, right? And this is why people maybe shy away, but it's something you have to learn, because you have basically expiration dates, you have rollover period, you have all these kind of things, you have first notice date. It's like, it's very complex in a way, right? Because it's not just, hey, I trade XAU USD forever, right? It's like, hey, I have to trade GC, but then I have to add the contract month and the contract year, and then I have to make sure I roll over if I stay longer in the trade, right? Because to the next contract month and so on and so forth. So it's a little bit more complex, and that's why I think people shy away from futures.
And so this is just because I think you've honestly been dropping gems. You have like a course, like an academy online, or do you just?
So I'm the founder of a licensed investment consultancy that is regulated by the UAE government, and we founded that in 2019. And with that licensed investment consultancy, we offer education, right? Nice. And there we teach basically also futures.
How important is education to you? Because once I was doing a little bit of research from you, you said that once you got into trading, you did get a mentor. And like, I just think a lot of people out there try to do it without. And I think it is possible, but it just shortens the learning curve so much. And I think it, me personally, I think it's really important.
Yeah, I would challenge maybe your thoughts in a way that I don't think I don't think it's possible to do it. I just don't think it's possible to do it yourself from a book, from YouTube. I just don't think so. You have to learn from somebody, because trading is like any other profession in the world. So you have to learn it from someone, right? You cannot just become a doctor by yourself or a pilot by yourself by watching YouTube videos or playing Microsoft Flight Simulator, right? You don't become a pilot. Well, you have to learn from somebody, right? However that looks like, but you need kind of a mentor in a way.
Right?
Yeah. I did a lot of the solo kind of out approach. And when I finally went and got somebody to teach me stuff like hands-on, it sped me up a lot. And then a lot of the times what I will realize is like, okay, I can trade, I can make money. But a lot of times when I step in the room with some of these people who have had like the mentor and more of a traditional learning, I'm just sitting there learning, Yeah. Like there's a lot, honestly, that me trying to go soloed out took away from. Luckily, I landed on my feet, made it work. But I definitely shortens your curve when you.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like day and night, right?
Yeah, and like a lot of people have tried to say, because like a lot of people in the space do hate on courses or hate on people who try to educate, and like my response to that is that I think
it's
that
ridiculous.
It's literally ridiculous, because in my opinion, like, yes, you can go to YouTube, you can try to look stuff up, but like a course is just a central location where you have basically step by step what you can do to gain an edge in the market. And it's just going to weed you out of all that nonsense that like a lot of beginner traders do, because beginner traders are going to lose. It's a part of the learning curve. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to lose to understand what to do right. So that just comes kind of with it.
And it's part of giving somebody guidance. It's all about guidance, like where to start, where it ends, like giving the steps in between, right? I mean, you cannot just get this proper guidance from a YouTube video, right? 15-minute YouTube video.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
The perfect Forex gold strategy.
Exactly.
96% win rate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's reflect on maybe some of the beginning times of when you first started trading. Do you have any kind of like times that you weren't really doing that well and stuff? Because once again, now you're looked at as one of the best traders in the entire world.
Oh, thank you.
Literally. So it's kind of like cool to like maybe talk about some of the times when you were first starting. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone has that.
Yeah, but I think I always say that I don't want people to take me as a benchmark, because my learning experience was completely different. And I can say back in the days, because I'm trading since 12 years and 10 years full time, right? And I was never exposed to social media. I never watched any kind of YouTube learning tutorial video. Never in my life. I never touched a trading book in my life, right? So I learned from actually two mentors, one of like two former floor traders, from Chicago Mercantile Exchange and one from New York Stock Exchange, right? So I had kind of this hands-on personal coaching, and my experience was rather smooth. Did I have ups and downs? Of course, like, we all go through the roller coaster life in trading. That's just normal. That's part of the learning curve, right? That you make mistakes, and even if your mentor is telling you don't do this, you're still gonna do that. And this is where we learn, right? We only learn when it hurts in the financial market, right?
Yeah.
When it hurts financially, that's when we listen. Otherwise, we don't listen, right?
Taking that financial hit, like kind of going off with that, like, do you recommend trading demo off the beginning so that you don't get kind of that?
Yeah, I think in the past I would have recommended always demo. Right now, I a little bit changed my thoughts in a way that I would say buy the cheapest prop firm challenge, learn there, because then you get already that kind of challenge environment. You get into that challenge mode into that. It's like pass or fail. It's like a driver license.
More of a taste.
More of a taste, yeah.
Yeah.
I think So don't like, maybe you can trade just to get used to the platform for like, I don't know, a couple of weeks, but then buy the smallest challenge that doesn't hurt your wallet, and then you can train there.
That's what I think too. I think that prop firms also teach a lot of really good rules that if I would have, I didn't learn about prop firms for about almost 2 years into my trading. So I think that it did kind of give me really good guidance and kind of just had to be a little bit more, I don't even know, like when it came to like just risk management of having to risk 1% or whatever. When I'm used to trading live capital, it was kind of all over the place. You're risking 10, 20, 30%. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's like,
yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, you treat, for some reason, you treat your own capital way more careless than, prop firm capital in a way.
Right.
Because,
I mean,
you have
because
these
it
kind
literally
of,
has those rules. So like, bro, I'll never forget, like when I started demo, my whole guideline and basis behind it from that first course I took was when you can turn 3K to 5K, like do it. So I blew like 12 fucking 3K demos. And then the one time I did it, which was just off complete luck, I was like, oh, okay, I'm ready to go live. Put my money in the live and fucking blew it all.
Yeah,
Bro.
it didn't work.
Yeah.
It's just the reality of trading. We all have those ups and downs and learning curves. Like I said,
100%.
all about the experience. You know what I'm saying? But once again, would you say that trading is not one of like the coolest and things that I think everyone should do, like the learning kind of journey? I would say the trading journey, because you learn discipline within your life. You have to learn like consistency. I think that like just trading overall kind of shaped my mind to be a better person. Do you kind of think that in any ways or no?
Yes. I would lean towards the same direction. However, I would also say that if somebody is not disciplined in their life, like in their personal life, and then all of a sudden tries to be disciplined in trading, it doesn't work that way, right? You have to start with your personal life in a way.
That's why I always preach, like, bro, going to the gym, having a routine, like, sticking to a diet plan. These things are very important. Like, one of the biggest increases in my life was when I moved to Miami, because I went from just kind of like working out kind of sporadically to being back in the gym twice a day, having a diet plan that I need to follow, only eating between certain hours. So just building that discipline through those things helps me, when I go to the charts, be able to stick to my trading 100%. Plan and move in that aspect.
100%. You cannot be not disciplined in your personal life and then all of a sudden you're disciplined in trading. It doesn't work that way, right? It's only the other way around, right?
Yeah, 100%. I kind of want to go back over to the FTMO stuff, because like, how did that kind of relationship kind of build? And then I know that like I kind of was listening to some of your stuff, and you said you're like 2 million funded A-book status. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of wanted to get into that for a lot of people out there who may not understand what that is and how you kind of got to that status. Because at the end of the day, guys, burn is like a B-book broker's worst nightmare. You know what I'm saying? So,
they for sure have it. So like when he KYCs, it just goes straight to
exactly. So I'm just curious.
Well, I only got into prop trading. It was mid 2022. Right?
Wow.
It was just by coincidence, because somebody recommended me like prop firms. I should look into FTMO. That's what this guy said. But I first rejected a couple of times until he was like very like, you have to do this. It's really good. And then I looked into that and the first thing I went on the website and so, okay, this makes sense. There are no limitations, because what my problem was always with prop firms in the past, that there's so many limitations. Only day trading, only like 2-3 markets. I need an environment where I personally can trade like my own capital, basically. No limitations at all, right?
So you use a swing account or what?
I use a swing account.
Yeah, that's what I would do when I was on FTMO.
Yeah.
Because then you can hold as much as you want.
Exactly.
And I love that.
Yeah. Then I tried it out, and then I bought my first challenge, 200K. Passed that, and then then I saw, hey, you can top this up, and you can actually get max allocated. I bought the second one, got max allocated within like 2 months, like both together. Started trading and then appearing on the leaderboard, and immediately it was like it was really smooth. But again, it was smooth because I already had like 10 years of experience, like trading my own money, right? It was just like an easy transition for me, right?
So hold on, kind of piggybacking off that, you had 10 years experience. So to the guy, let's say you had to reset from zero. What's the first thing you're doing? What are your steps to just kind of like moving about, knowing your knowledge, you're giving somebody who has no idea what to do?
I got this, this is a question I got asked quite a lot, and I don't have like a proper answer for that. Because nowadays the space is so messy, and for a beginner it's really Yeah, it's hard to find like the needle in the haystack. That's what I usually say, right?
Yeah.
It's because so much information and contradictive information. Everybody, like, the one person says do scalping, the other one says do day trading, the other one says like me do swing trading. But you know what I firmly believe is that first the person who's getting into trading has to find out, like, when it comes to the different strategies in terms of scalping, day trading, swing trading, what fits to their personal life.
Yep.
Right.
I always say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Find something that resonates with you.
Yes, exactly. Right. If you have a full-time job, because if somebody gets into trading, let's say it's like mid-20s, early 30s, whatever, right? Of course, if you're like 18 or whatever, and you're in your school and you have all the time in the world and you're bored as hell, then go into day trading.
Man, I got into it during COVID, so all I did was just sit there.
Exactly. But let's be real. Most people like have a full-time job, a 9-to-5 job, right? They have families, they have like kids, they have obligations, they want to have hobbies, they want to go to the gym. Then I would say, well, if you're looking up to a guy who's like scalping, this might not be fit in your lifestyle, right? So do what fits your lifestyle. You have to incorporate trading into your lifestyle.
That's pretty cool. And I kind of want to touch on, you trade 30 minutes a day, correct?
Yes, I mean, my process is really simple, right? Like weekend, I do my analysis, I create my watch list, I look what's setting up for the week ahead. On Monday, Tuesday, I'm placing my trades, if any, and that's basically it. It's like set and forget and get a life. That's what I call it, right?
Set and forget and get a life.
Get a life. I have to add this get a life, because this is for me really important, because I come from the corporate space, right? I've been in the rat race for like a couple of years. And this is when I realized it's not for me personally, right? Again, not demonizing anything, but it's not for me. And that's why I wanted to get out. I wanted to have more time freedom, not necessarily more financial freedom, because I was making good money where I was working, right? But I wanted to have just more that time freedom, more that flexibility, right? And that's why, swing trading resonated to me so much that I like, hey, I have now all the time in the world, I can do whatever I want.
That's pretty cool. So is it like you said, kind of set and forget, like you just kind of set it and then just let it play?
Yeah, exactly. Just trade management and stuff. You just look at that.
What about your watch list? Like, you have like a bunch of different pairs, right? Like,
I look at all futures. Okay. So I start with equity indices. I go to energies, which is natural gas, crude oil. Then I look at precious metals, which is basically gold, silver, copper, palladium, platinum. And then I look at the FX majors, because they're in the futures as well, right? But only the majors. And then I also look at agricultural markets. So overall, maybe it's like between 20 and 30 markets that I look at.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think about signals?
Yeah. Oh, horrible.
There we go.
No, like I feel like if somebody just really goes only for signals, like if somebody buys signals, they want the shortcut.
And it doesn't work.
And it doesn't work.
Yeah. I think you have to learn basic knowledge, and like if you don't know how to kind of like why that signal is a buy or a sell, then you're just kind of piggybacking. I kind of always say that.
And you're dependent. You're just dependent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I always preach also, like, you want to become an independent trader, right?
Yeah.
Sustainable. You want to do this sustainably, like, for the rest of your life. That's what I'm saying, right?
Don't spend money on signals, but not like to get on a one-on-one call or to get mentorship or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, it's just it's people looking for the shortcuts. It's similar to what I would say, like, it's even worse when it's people like buying into bots.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, horrible. Please.
Oh
please
man,
you can do the run. You can do the
run. Someone join my
I will add on whatever you say.
So many of you guys think that this robot that promises 40% a month and shit is gonna work, but like, let's be real.
For $50, right?
Yeah. Let's be real, man.
Solves all my problems in the world, right? For $50, right? I just have to press the button. That's why I tell people, use fucking common sense.
Yeah.
Come on. If it's too good to be true,
exactly.
It's too good to be true.
Yeah. It's horrible.
And then, man, in this space, bro, they can fake years of proof that looks undeniable to you, but it's sad.
And it's what I realized as well, that you can actually fake this data. I didn't even know that. That's what I was told by people from MetaQuotes, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
The day I found out that you can fake my FX books.
Oh, that's the day I was just like, I thought that was the most legit thing you could do.
I was like, this industry.
Yeah. That's why, so fun. That's why my $2 million A-book account, right, is my FX book verified. So I was really proud on that. And people, this can be fake. I was like, how can this be fake? Yeah, data can be fake. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's just crazy stuff. And like a lot of people with bots don't even realize how, like, I don't know, like I mean, you probably played. I used to play around with bots just trying to figure it out. It's like, you ever realize why you do it on a demo and it kind of works, and right when you put live capital on it, just load? It's because it's like you're kind of like, I don't even know how to do it. It's like not real trading.
It's the latency of the server.
The latency, yeah,
so
it's like latency.
The demos, like
for some reason, they like can use.
They don't
arbitrage.
alter the latency on the demo because they don't have to.
The minute
but on the
touches
live
capital,
market, it does. And I don't even know if you guys knew this, but like
spreads and commissions and just.
I recently heard that something, for example, like these HFT bots, right? People want to use them on live capital or something, which doesn't work. But like technically, when you use an EA on a broker, like the LP views it as the LP is the liquidity provider. They view it as illegal if your trades are being closed within 30 seconds. And if you're manually trading, then you have, or no, it's within 8 minutes. And if you're manually trading, then you can't be closing within 30 seconds. It doesn't mean that one trade I take, I close in 30 seconds, I'm fucking banned. But if that's my exact trading style, just buy, close, buy, close, buy, close, that's arbitrage. Yeah. And if it's on an EA, then it has to be like either 5 or 8 minutes. And people don't even know this stuff. And I'm like, you guys think they don't have the patch for the
exactly.
the money glitch you guys think you cracked?
The money glitch. That's what I'm saying, guys. Like you said, like, if it's $50, if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Even if it's a couple thousand, bro, that shit does not work. I'm sorry. EAs don't work, bro.
Yeah. But kind of going back
again, going for the shortcut, right?
Yeah, just the shortcut. Kind of going. Work. I want to know more about like why you kind of got into swing trading. Did you always do swing trading, or did you start kind of differently?
No, actually, also when I started out, like I think first year or so, I was doing day trading. But for me, day trading means like 60-minute execution, not like 15 minutes or so, like 60-minute charts. But yeah, so I started off like day trading, and it has its benefits in terms of you get immediate when you start learning trading, right? Because you get that immediate feedback from the market, and you don't have to wait for setups. Because sometimes I wait like for 1 or 2 weeks, right, to get into a trade. I don't mind that, right? So, it's just whatever the market provides me. It can happen that I get like into two, 3 trades at the same week, but it can also happen that I don't have trades for like 1 or 2 weeks, right?
That was gonna be my next question. Is like, how often do you think, like on average, like you take trades like once a week, twice a week?
On average once a week.
So, I was gonna say this for the trader who is starting out. Let's say obviously I don't think this will happen, but let's just say all the prop firms crashed. This guy has to go live capital. He's got, let's say, 5,000 to put in. What do you think is his optimal risk strategy to grow?
And that's a problem, right? If you're not really capitalized, if you're low on cash, so to speak, right? Yeah. These people, they wanna double, triple their account sizes, right? And then they go like 20-30% risk per trade, and this is how they blow up their accounts.
Now a lot of people have seen me do that, right? I won't lie to you, bro. I'll put in a couple thousand and double and triple it, but I didn't always trade like that. Like it got to a point where I have a lot of money on the sidelines. So when I am loading up a 5-10K account, it's because I can lose it.
Your pockets.
Yeah, but it's different, right? Some people they put all their money.
Yeah, all their money trying to replicate
that.
Yeah.
That's a problem, and this is when they blow up their
like
accounts.
I get a ton of people here, this is gambling, and I'm like, okay, but this is I'm going into it knowing this money's gone.
Exactly. I have the same kind of mindset because you just put into account what you want to trade with, right? You don't put like, if you have like 100K available because we trade with leverage, you don't put 100K in your account because you don't need to, because you don't use that 100K, right? You can put 10K, 5K in the account, and then you can take more risk.
More
because
risk
then if I lose it, I can easily load up another one.
I have exactly the same.
I think the lack of why people can't do that is like they just don't have the skill set, because we've been trading for a while, and we do have because we can go and risk smaller percents on bigger accounts. Makes us able to then go and know what we're risking. Maybe it is a little bit too much for that size account, but in people's viewpoints. But I like what you said about like, you don't need to go put $100,000 live account if you're not actually using $100,000.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but going back to like originally what I wanted to say is that, guys, we're sitting here with someone who has verified payouts, is a great trader, and he's telling you that he only trades 1-2 times a week or a couple times like a month. Yeah, a lot of you guys are out there taking 15 trades a day. And I try to always say this, is that like a lot of people look up to people like you and are like, oh, I want his same results. But then if you tell them, if they literally were sitting here in a chair with you and you told them like, oh, you take too many trades and your risk is everywhere and stuff, they wouldn't believe you. And
they don't want to.
It's just crazy to me. So I just wanted to like kind of pinpoint that and just say that like he only takes a couple trades a month, yet he has some of the biggest payouts in FTMO.
Because I think people are getting just brainwashed in the space.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, and if they're in the beginning it's like if they're in that space from the very beginning and for like a couple of years even, or even like only a couple of months, you get brainwashed easily, right?
Like who is it? It was I believe Umar Ashraf. He said that there's only like 4 good trading days a month. And he's like, those are the days you want to be there ready for. He's like, every other day you're just prepping. You know, he says something, and that guy makes fucking millions. Like I'm pretty sure he's done like all the live broker statements, like trades regulated. There's no calling that guy fake.
Yeah.
And a lot of people hear that shit and they're like, what the fuck? No, like
I have to trade every day.
Every day. Yeah,
if I take 15 trades, I'll make more money. And that's just not the case.
Yeah, that's again like that myth that, you know, more trades makes you more money.
More exposure is more risk, bro. And that's what people need to understand.
People don't understand that, like, let's say that they take 10 trades in a day. A lot of them will win maybe 6 and then lose like 4 or whatever it may be. And they'll only be up 1% for that day instead of waiting for an A+ setup, having the edge in the market, trying to get that like, and I don't know, the way that I trade, and I'm pretty sure all of us trade because you're a swing trader, is that 1-to-1s is no good. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to be closing at 1-to-1 risk to rewards, trying to go for higher risk to reward. I think is what kind of separates pretty professional traders and why they're always able to like kind of always end up on the positive
100%,
side.
100%, yeah.
I want to ask you, because you have so many good like trading tips on your YouTube and so many great videos recently, is there 2 off the top of your head, or maybe 3, that you're like, guys, if you guys have not seen my YouTube channel, these 3 videos would possibly be like the first 3 I would recommend you to watch to then go on for your trading journey?
Good question. I think about the, I would say spontaneously, obviously the presidential election cycle, about the market cycles when you trade equity indices, because this is like, this is so important to understand, right? So these market cycles, these presidential election cycles, just watch my YouTube video.
No one out there doesn't even understand what that is, so go watch that guy.
Yeah, no, I really want people to understand the importance of like the fundamentals in trading.
That'll give you your bias. You'll know if you're bullish or bearish. And if you take anything against it, then you're just trying to catch like a little retracement for the overall move. Like,
and that's why I would not, right now in this year, I would not go short the equity indices. Yes, we might see a dip in September, October into November, but I don't want to short that dip. I'm going to wait for the, you know, price to fall and then for the retracement and buy into higher time frame demand, because we're going to see like a monster end of the year rally according to the market cycle. So I'm just waiting for that, right?
And I just like I just want people to kind of focus on, he's saying, yeah, there could be a dip, but I'm not going to take it. Like that type of discipline is easy to say, but a lot of you guys are like, oh, it's going to be the fucking perfect sell setup. And then you guys stop down and you're like, oh, I lost my account. And
that's the difference between a professional trader and like a retail trader. You know what I'm saying? They're catching those little retracements where we'll stay patient and wait for the retracement into the overall demand level to go. Me and him trade supply and demand as well. So I do that.
I didn't know that. Nice.
Yeah, so I'm a supply and demand trader. Like a higher time frame. I really like, I try and like think about it. Higher time frames, it's like whatever demand level is like causing the rally or whatever. Everything in between on those lower time frames, everyone tries to mark up every little demand level, every little single demand level they can check, and just like lost until you get to the overall actual supply or demand level. That like if you actually know how to trade supply and demand, you know the actual areas and zones that you should be taking on in the middle. You know.
Yeah, that's what I call like what we call big brother small brother principle, where your smaller time frame is covered by the higher time frame. So what I'm looking is basically that my, you know, daily is covered by the weekly, and ideally even the weekly is covered by the monthly. Then you have the highest probability.
That's perfect. I never heard that.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, have you heard of ICT?
Let's get controversial.
Right? Let's do it.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, total scam, this guy, right? What is his name? Mike?
Like Michael or something.
Total scam, right? I mean, look, I didn't know about, again, before when I came into that space, social media space, I got bombarded with it. Even like, hey, do you trade ICT? Like, what do you think about ICT? I didn't know what ICT is, and I had to look him up, right? And then, of course, he's super big, right, on YouTube. Like, I think the biggest,
arguably the biggest,
exactly on YouTube, 1 million plus subscribers.
It's a whole cult. It's a cult.
But I think 1 or 2 people did like a proper exposing ICT video.
I watched one of those, which I thought was hilarious. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think
I sat there laughing.
And he. He has, you know, faked also trading statements, not only once.
I was about to say that's what I've seen.
Exactly.
And I mean, you being someone who has a background,
you could say you're ICT, and you know, like, you know what I'm saying, like if you wanted to take like the don't show your face
and
and
these comments that with like,
like he
creating
says,
algorithms and
Yeah.
like it's like
I believe he says that he coded the algorithm.
like
behind the
what
market.
fucking algorithm do you fucking mean? Like it doesn't exist, you know.
I mean, bro, I'll tell people this. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you call it. You can call it the algorithm. You can call it the banks. You can like whatever the fuck you want to call it. But just understand, like, the movement will happen. Like, it's not pre-coded. Like, the shit that's priced in, but like,
no.
it's not fucking pre-coded. Like, just because this did this, this is gonna do this. Da, 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 da. Like, it's a lot more in depth. Than
So we have to differentiate a little bit. So he as a person is obviously a fraud, because everybody who fakes stuff is a fraud. Just because it's a criminal act. It's just a fake. Faking things is like a criminal act. It's a fraud. So he as a person is a fraud. So what he did, obviously, and I did also then my little bit of digging, that what he used all these different concepts, right, and basically these strategies that were lying on the shelves for years, and for the newcomers just rebranded them and just used fancy names that are resonating to like 18-year-olds, right? That sounds like cool, and
that's what I'm saying. Is that
I know what he's doing. So some of the concepts might be valid concepts, but it's not like he invented these concepts. He just used some random concept that existed already for years, rebranded them, and basically is selling it for, like, not selling it, but basically saying it's like his own strategy, which is
one that he got from the algorithm.
even one thing I just kind of want to say is, like, I promise you somebody's going to be in here and be like, well, if he's a fraud, why does he have so many successful students? Well, guys, I know a shit ton of people who know way more about trading than me. But when it comes to trading, like, there's a difference between knowing how to hold a gun and knowing how to shoot a gun, right? You have to know how to execute. Like, you can teach every fucking thing in the world and not actually know how to apply it in the real live markets.
I would even challenge why he has so many successful students, because it's just statistics. He has 1 million subscribers, right?
Yeah.
So let's assume out of that 1 million, 100 or 10 or whatever are successful and are well known in the space. What is that ratio?
Yeah.
That's just statistics. That ratio is below 1%, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like a lot, because most of them are failing, because he has like 1 million subscribers, right?
Yeah. I trade like supply and demand with just price action, just straight up technical analysis. And to me, I'll see something on a chart. And I've said this because I live stream and I live stream trade on YouTube. And when I live trade in front of people, I'll see a liquidity sweep, I'll see some type of break, whatever, and I'll say these little things that, like, to me make sense because I learned it just based upon like price action. But to them, they're like, oh, that's a Turtle Soup SMT, like, and I'm like, they just overcomplicate a little bit, where it's like the move is the, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what I call a W, like whatever, like liquidity sweep, whatever, just holding it. I was like, it's just a double bottom. You know what I'm saying? ICT can call whatever he wants to make it the most fancy name ever, but it's just a double bottom. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I just want to kind of like say that, like, impulse correction. But they name like
they'll name it. I cannot even pronounce these words.
Yeah,
bro. I had somebody once send me like a whole ICT. Like, cause like, let's say for example, fair value gap, they'll say like FVG. So like kind of like all the little abbreviations. There we go. And bro, like, it's on my notes. You just fucking scroll and scroll and scroll. It's so long how many fucking things they have.
Yeah. And some of them doesn't make sense to me, where I'm like, is that really? Yeah. Because I've tried to look. I'm just curious. So I like look up a YouTube video about something that I'll see on Instagram just to be like what is this? And it'll be a simple like price action thing that like I'd be able to identify just from being experienced in the markets. That I don't need to learn a whole month of ICT, listen to him doing whatever to kind of do that. But I just wanted to say that, like, the reason why, it's kind of cool to bring up or whatever is that this is someone who already had success with trading before he knew what smart money concepts were, before he knew what ICT was. You know what I'm saying? Like,
before you even knew what the whole social media.
Yeah, like, you might think that like you need to know those things to be a profitable trader, but here's someone who already has experience in the markets, trading regulated futures markets, and is telling you like what algorithm. You know what I'm saying?
These
like,
strategies only exist in the YouTube bubble, like 100%.
Do you use Fibonacci at all?
I used to look into Fibonacci. It has like it makes sense, but it's okay. Yeah, it's absolutely okay to use it if you can incorporate this in your strategy. But yeah, it's something that is okay, I would say.
It's just like a tool I always bring up because, like, I feel like when I got into the industry, that was like everybody's fucking golden ticket.
Fibonacci.
Like, Fibonacci. And I'm like, bro, I don't remember the last time I drew a fib on a chart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not that it doesn't work. It works if you know how to use it. But, like, I don't think it's necessary.
But again, this is the problem also, like, because people say, yeah, but this strategy works. Like, every single strategy in the world works sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, but can you really with that strategy be consistent month over month or years over years? And this is what I'm challenging, right? The consistency in a strategy, because every strategy you will see, like if you do some back testing, right? It will work sometimes. Exactly.
And when it comes to back testing, one thing I tell people is like, okay, back testing is cool, but you have all the variables. You have all the existing variables, so you can find the strategy that works with every single one of these variables. So that's why, like, you've seen EA back testing tools, right? And then they change the settings and they're like, look, bro, we would have made this much if we used this setting. But the thing is, every single day there's new variables being printed. So that exact strategy, after 3-4 days, those settings, they don't fucking work. And that's why, like, people are so blind to these things, because they don't think about that. So 2 things I want to say here, right? 1, for you, on a more personal note, if you had to say, like, I challenge any trader out there to show me X, Y, and Z, what would it be?
Who would it be or what?
No, not who. I mean, who?
Or like,
you can call out someone specifically.
No, I think.
But I just mean, like, in general, like, for example, like, I challenge any trader to show me, like, a live broker statement or something, or proof that they've done 1, 2, and 3, just because of how reputable and how backed you are. And then another thing I want us to kind of do is create a challenge for those who watch this, like kind of like a guideline, where whoever succeeds the most at this over a month, we'll give away like 1,000, 2,000, whatever it is to them, like some sort of thing like that. That one we can do at the end, but for you now, I kind of want you to...
Are you talking about like a challenge, like take $1,000 and make X%?
Yeah, no, maybe not even X%, but we give them like a set of rules, like you guys have to do 1, 2, and 3. We'll kind of discuss this and we'll post it up. I think it would be a good idea to do that. But on a side note, I would want you to just kind of like call out, in a sense, what you would want to see from traders to prove they're legit.
Yeah, I mean, for me still, look, I can just speak for myself. And for me, like my A-Book $2 million account is my FX book verified, right? So it is my FX book verified. Sorry, it's not faked, right? Because it's like not my money, it's not my funds, it's investor funds, and they don't fake it, right? So I think it's just like consistency month over month through a verified third-party platform, basically, right? And nowadays with all these certificates, right, payout certificates, it's also gets maybe a little bit shady.
People even fake those.
They fake those if you don't have a QR code, right? Wink, 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 wink.
That is hilarious.
Oh man.
Yes, I'm going to Miami, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Podcast, right?
You guys should run one.
That would be hilarious, right? I would do that. Of course.
We'll ask him.
I'll ask him for you if you want.
Anyway, but these people can do account flipping. They can buy 10 accounts. They fail 9, and then with one day do like 5% risk, and then they get like a high payout. It's like, certificates is also something that is questionable in a way. Unfortunately,
so you said, consistency.
It's like just at the end of the day, it's just a broker statement, right? A third-party verified statement over a longer period of time. It's not like 1 or 2 months. And then people ask me, hey, how do you actually get like A-Book money? How do you get like A-Book funds, right? That are like real investor funds. And this is where you have to build a track record. You have to build a freaking track record. Otherwise, you never get A-Book funds.
Let me ask you
this. You can't get 2 payouts and ask for
exactly.
$2 million.
You're not consistent, right?
Yeah. So for someone to learn from you or like your course or whatever, how much does it cost, or what do they need to do?
So first of all, like I hate the word course. I hate it so much.
My apologies.
Me saying like Forex. It's like me saying Forex. Like I trade, and I trade Forex pairs, but I also trade indices. I also trade all this stuff. But there's this stigma around, if someone doesn't know trading, they say like, oh, you trade Forex. I just want to like.
Yeah, me too. I hate like.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just like,
especially, did you see the real Drewski?
Like
you know how many people from a high school sent me that, bro?
Yeah.
You know that guy Drewski? He's like a comedian.
He's a comedian recently.
He made this hilarious video. He's like how Forex Colts like would be, and he was making fun of essentially the whole IML thing.
And the multi-level marketing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And like the guy's asking him like, but when do we actually trade? And he's like, just get the signups, bro. Just get
your friends to sign up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's been the stigma in the United States, is that when Forex became more prominent in the United States, it got pushed by all these big MLM companies that just wanted you to bring you in, recruit, and then not actually teach you really how to trade. So that's why it has a bad
bad reputation. Very bad.
I would say in Miami though, it's very clean. Yeah. Like when I
He's
just
like
moved.
smiling. He's like,
I just, for me, when I hear Miami, it's just always like
Yeah,
Not the
nice
Miami
scammers and
traders, but
stuff,
I mean,
yeah.
I moved to Miami, and it's literally been where I've been at restaurants, I've been out with, you know, just people, and people have recognized me for being a trader. Like, so even when I tell people there versus here, when they ask me, what do you do? And I say, I trade Forex, people here look at me like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
You know? Versus in Miami, they're like, oh, dope. What pairs do you trade? What broker do you use? What do you focus on?
Yeah,
you know, they understand. In Miami's, the Forex scene is way bigger than it is here in LA.
You say like specifically, I trade Forex. You don't say just I'm a trader. Like you say like you add the Forex.
Yeah, I used to say I'm a Forex trader, but now I just go with I'm a day trader.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's usually what I say too.
Okay.
I just trade have some online businesses.
Yeah.
You know.
And why do you guys say like? Why do you have to add, like, just out of curiosity, why do you have to add the word day? Like, because, you know, what I found is quite interesting on social media now, if you look at different profiles, I hardly find the word, I'm a swing trader, right?
Yeah.
You are like a scalper or you like a day trader, because it's like, I don't know, maybe cool. It's
I feel like just people kind of know when the average person, when I speak to them and I say day trader, they kind of think of like a chart. You know what I mean?
I think the reason for me is that when I say trading, and then they're like, "Oh, what trading?" And I say like, I don't know, like stocks. Do you know what stocks are? They don't. They only understand getting in and longing it, and you kind of have to hold it.
Yeah, they always go, what if it goes down?
Like, I say day trading as like I trade, like I don't trade every day. I don't take a trade every day, but I look at the markets every day.
That mindset makes sense. Yeah, so I day trade. I just means like you're kind of full time just checking the markets every day. But it doesn't mean you're like, yeah, that's my profession. Okay.
I have a question for you, because I know you're from like more of a small village in Germany. Was there some traders there, or was that the financial markets known?
More cows than people.
Really?
Like literally, yes.
More cows than people. I love that.
No, awesome. Are you kidding me? No, like I mean, this was like super traditional German. Like I think also almost like here, you know, I would maybe compare it to rednecks, you know, kind of in the middle of the country, like farmland, exactly. No, I was like the only person in that big family who got out of that kind of bubble and, you know, moved abroad.
That's awesome. And then you went to Dubai, and then you got a corporate job, kind of found trading and stuff. But like you said before, you're already making some good money in corporate. And then like, what was kind of the jump over, and what made you take that switch of like, you know, you were working corporate and trading on the side, and then what made you go full time?
Because I hated my job.
Really? Yeah.
That was my pain. And I always say that, right? So people only start trading because they have pain in a certain way, right? Yeah. Otherwise you would not go down that rabbit hole if you don't have any kind of pain.
Yeah.
For me, it was the corporate world that I hated, like being the slave of my desk, that rat race. When I go to bed at night thinking about, hey, can I do this for the rest of my life? No way, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is no purpose. I always wanted to be, like, two things are super important to me: legacy and purpose, right? Yeah. And I found that with trading and everything that I do with trading, because now everything is centered around trading, whether it's our academy, our licensed investment consultancy, whether it's like me now going on all the podcasts and I'm speaking about trading and trading myself and doing all that stuff. It's just like the passion about trading, and everything resolves about trading. So I just, and this is what I like to do, enjoying doing it, right? And this is like for me, it's like really a purpose. This is my life purpose, besides like family and stuff like that. My daughter, like, it's clear, right? But it's like my professional purpose, and everybody needs that professional purpose, otherwise you get depressive, right? And I was kind of close to that. And
like you said, you're passionate about it. You know, something about like me and Ollie also is that like I love talking about trading. I love talking about it. I love, like, if someone like did know about trading and I randomly was out to dinner and they wanted to pull up a trading view chart and stuff, I'd be like, yes, like, let's do it. It doesn't annoy me because I'm so passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? It's such a cool skill set to kind of learn. And one thing I love about it is that you're always getting better. Do you feel like because you kind of have such a good edge in the market that it's become kind of boring for you? Or do you think that you still enjoy it every day?
Boring in a way, because trading has to be boring. I feel like trading cannot be exciting, because otherwise you're way too emotional.
Exactly.
For me, it's like trading is the most boring thing in the, like, trading itself, basically, it's just like you look at your charts, and yes, if you find like a plus setup that is like, this is like kind of exciting, that there's like something coming up in a way, like, but it's not like that you, I don't know, stand on a chair and go like ballistic or something. It's just
I
like
had my first A+ setup in so long last week. And I was with my friend. I was like, holy shit, it's finally here. Like, I was finally kind of excited. I loaded up, like, I think it was 9K on an account, and then I took that to 53.
Nice.
But it's because, like, I was ready to just
go all in.
put it out
Basically.
there. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I went pretty heavy. I risked like 5K on that trade. Like,
but you've also done it multiple times. You know what I'm saying? You've done the 5K to 100K.
One thing I want to talk about is like, if somebody can do something once, they can do it again. And that's how you know when they're not lucky. So if there's somebody whose whole fucking career and everything is built on that one payout, that one flip, that one trade, it's like, bro, they're full of shit.
Yeah, they got lucky.
You know?
Something about consistency, like you said, you have how many certificates
how many
over X amount of time. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you didn't get lucky for 2 months and you got your payouts the next year when the market's kind of shifted the cycle. You just stop getting them. You know what I'm saying? It's all about consistency. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ollie knows back when my Forex funds was open, I had an account for almost a year. I had the same live account, which like for a prop firm, you know, I know for you it's probably like, oh, easy. But people like will get live accounts, run it up, and then blow them or whatever. But I had a consistent account for over a year with them.
That's
like,
big.
Yeah, where a lot of people couldn't say the same. You know what I'm saying? But it's also because I had a couple accounts with them, and that was like the account that was like for A+ setups.
What's your longest running account right now?
I never blew an account.
So how many years?
He's never blown an account.
Like a prop account. I never blew it.
So you said you started what, 2 years ago?
What?
2022.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my first challenge I bought, it was like I think June.
You know the date.
June 2022.
No.
Wow.
I mean, that's why now, you know, when I got my so actually when I was approached by the A-Book fund, what I had to do is basically I had to go through a challenge as well. So basically first I had to go through 100K challenge demo. I had to pass that, like I think it was 4%. Okay. Then I had to go, like, then I got 100K real funds. I had to pass that, be profitable for a month. After that, I got a 200K real funds. I had to pass that for a month. And then again, I had another 200K. And then all of a sudden, you know, I went through 100K demo, 100K refunds, 200K refunds, 200K refunds. And then I would have gotten a 1 million demo to pass that as well. But then I was like, after that 4 months, I was the best trader in that prop firm. And they said, okay, you don't have to do that $1 million challenge. Now you get that $1 million refunds.
Yeah.
Now, and then based on my contract, I have 100% profit share. How does this work? People ask, how can somebody get 100% profit share? Because they just, you know, their own accounts, they link in the back and then they copy my trades basically.
Oh, wow.
Right? So that's how it works, right? So that's why they can give me 100%. They don't care, like even like other prop firms, 80%, 90% profit split. They don't care how much, right? Because if they really are an A-Book prop firm, they just link their own money, their own accounts and copy your trades, right? This is how it works.
You know what? That's honestly, because I have seen an A-Book say, yo, we're going to give you 100% of your first whatever. And I did kind of question, how are they doing that? But that,
you thought maybe they're going to screw you or like give you big spreads or something.
Yeah, I was like, but that makes a lot of sense.
So now actually, what they're going to do, like, that's why that 1 million I was now trading for 6 months consistently profitable. And every 6 months, they're going to increase by $1 million. Now I'm trading that 2 million for 3 or 4 months, right?
Wow.
So now I'm in, hopefully, right, knock on wood. You never know, right? Then I will get 3 million. And then, you know, this is how I'm building now that kind of account. And this is the most important account for me right now, because all this B-Book, regardless whether it's like a prop firm that is in the space for a long period of time, that B-Book can vanish at some point of time.
And I want everyone to just kind of like reflect on the patience in that. You know, a lot of you guys think you're entitled to, no, I don't gotta pass this challenge. I'm too good for this, whatever. Guys, when you have one of the best prop traders still having to prove on the challenge and prove consistency and things like that, and he goes, okay, I'll do it. That's how you know.
Nobody just gives you $1 million.
Yeah, just because you got to pay out. You give a certificate with no QR code. You know
Nobody just gives you $1 million, right? You have to like prove yourself and you build yourself up, right? And this is right.
That's crazy though that you never blown a challenge. Like even just hearing that is pretty. I don't know.
And I never bought like after FTMO. The one that I bought is basically Search Trader, which now went down 2 days ago. So I just lost $1 million of my funding.
Oh wow, crazy!
Because Search Trader went down, right? Then I like True Forex funds and Funded Next. I got for free because I was doing these challenge documentaries. My first 2 challenge documentaries, which I basically recorded every day, right? And then I published it afterwards, which I passed immediately as well. And
what's your risk approach on those?
On the challenges, so I always I call it a case study. I'm like trying people that, 2% makes sense. And then I think on the True Forex funds, I did 2%. On the Funded Next, I did 3% per trade.
Are you doing
just on a challenge.
Do you have like a fixed risk to reward for your take profits, or is it based on the setup?
Based on a setup. Yes,
what is your usual risk reward, do you think?
Not more than 1 to 2. Yeah. Nice. Exactly. Because since I take only A+ setups, my win rate is super high.
I was going to ask that next. What is your win rate just about?
Well, it's above 80%. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's because, people might, 80%, it's not possible.
But you're barely trading.
I barely trade. As a day trader, of course it's not if you take 15 trades a day, of course it doesn't work. And you're like, yeah, exactly. But I barely trade.
Yeah. That's so awesome to hear.
I have the 15 trades in, 15 trades in, I don't know, in a quarter or so, where people take this in a one day,
Could you share possibly maybe one of the biggest returns you made in a single month? Do you recall? Like ROI on a certain account?
But to be really honest, my focus on money is not really there. I don't really know. I think before the podcast also, Ali asked me, what was my highest payout? And I was like, I can't remember what was it, 80, 90K, or was it above 100? I really don't know. So for me, it's really also important to teach to be less money focused, less money centered, and more KPI focused, right? Risk to reward, and in conjunction with your win loss. This is way more important, because money at the end is just the result of meeting your KPIs, your key performance indicators. It's just the result. It cannot be the end. It's not be it cannot be your focus, because otherwise you're neglecting your KPIs.
No, 100%. I just didn't know if there was a certain month, because I preach the same thing about if you have an edge of the market, some months you're going to get a lot of setups, some months you're not. And it's just all about following your plan and having your KPIs.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, if somebody wants to make more money, the only thing they have to change is basically scale up their business, scaling up their funds. That's the only thing, right? Everything is
you don't need to trade more.
You don't have to trade more. You don't have to change your trading plan, or change your trades, or change the markets, or add the market. You don't have to do anything. It's always that constant, right? You only have to the only variable that you have to change is increasing funds if you want to make more money. If you take more risk, you're gonna fail.
Increase your funding, not how many trades you take a week. That's basically the key thing. I think this has been a great conversation. I kind of want to wrap it up with just giving advice. At the end of the day, you have so much knowledge and so many gems to share to the audience. For beginner traders out there who really are struggling with the basics, they're really once again, neglecting the things we already have been giving them advice on throughout the podcast. But really, what advice would you give them to really lock in and tell them, weed out how many trade, what would you kind of tell them?
That's so many.
I know.
But there's not the one single advice, right? Bottom line is you have to approach it as a business, right? You have that business entrepreneurial mindset, because at the end of the day, you're starting a business, in this case, a startup, right? So you need to do everything that it takes to make a startup successful. You can basically apply in trading as well, right? I mean, it takes time. At the end of the day, people need the patience, right? I mean, it's so stereotypical, all the cliches, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, blah, 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 blah. But it's true. Yeah, it takes time. It takes freaking time, and people don't want to see that it takes time. They want the success yesterday.
Yeah. And just kind of, sorry, I know I kind of asked this earlier, but I feel like it was just a little unclear. So if somebody wants to learn from you, what's the best way to do that?
Your YouTube.
YouTube. Thing. Yes, our website onlineTradingCampus.com. But when they go on my channels, they will find a way how to.
And then, but what about just some key, just simple kind of, maybe not KPIs, but just simple things that someone can change in their trading. One of them for Jose is taking less trades in a day. One of them is proper risk management. Is there a third one you would be this could potentially really help you in your trading if you stop doing
I'm
this?
preaching 3 things. The fixed dollar risk approach, that you always take the same dollar risk.
Huge.
Risk basically. Has to be fixed. Otherwise, your risk to reward ratio doesn't make any sense, because you cannot take $100 risk now and tomorrow you take $200 and the day after you take $150 because then risk to reward doesn't make any sense. That's why you have to have the fixed dollar risk approach. Plus, then risk to reward ratio on average you should have a 1 to 2, and then your win loss ratio can be even 40 or 50%, and then you meet all your KPIs, and money is then just the result of meeting these 3 KPIs, and that's it.
People would have a 50% win rate and be so sad.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
don't understand that if they just go for 1 or 2, they can. Dude, it's so crazy to me that like. But that goes back to being greedy. About people don't have an exit strategy. They want to get in and they're going to get in profit, but they don't have like a place that they're actually trying to take price to, so they always get the retracement.
I think it goes back to the school mindset where you are preached to you're only successful if you're like 80-90% and you get an A, like otherwise if you're 70-60% you're like getting a D or you even fail.
Damn, I've never even thought of that. We're
programmed we are programmed to think about we need like 100% or 90%.
Yeah.
In trading is
crazy.
so far from being like perfect. You cannot be, there's no perfectionism in trading, right? You can be like with 40% win rate, you can make a shit ton load of money, right? And people don't understand that because they think like they're programmed to think like I have to pass like 90% and then I'm like only good. And trading is exactly the opposite.
Dude, that was exactly why, because I was that kid in school who always fucking, dude, like I got A's like my whole life. So when I got into trading and I was failing in the beginning,
you feel when you lose, like, you think you fail.
I was like, what the fuck, or like bro, I would start to see some money and my win rate was 70, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta get this up. Because the higher it is, the better trader I am. What's funny is, bro, I've had months where I've had 30-40% win rate and made way more money than anything I've done. I think my best month financially, I had like a 30% win rate.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
it's super difficult to change that, shift that mindset.
I really like that example. I'm going to have to maybe steal that from
you.
Okay, sure. Like, guys, like I can...
You're okay to steal that, but you're not okay to steal my certificates.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see me talk about that on one of my reels.
Make sure you scan the QR code.
I just really like that because I went to college as well. I know you went to college out here. That was another thing I kind of wanted to go over, but... if you go get a 60% on a test and you get a D, you're failed. Your teacher hates you. You're awful.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have a 60% win rate in trading, you're kind of
you're killing it.
Yeah, you're killing it. Especially if you have 1 or 2, 1 to 3 years.
Well, man, then you're killing it anyway. Then you're like
extra killing.
You're set for life.
People don't understand that even with going to 1-on-1s, if you have a 60% win rate, guys, you guys should still be making like 10%. You know what I'm saying? People just don't understand that. But I really like kind of the thing you said a little bit earlier about trying to challenge people out there, because we're sitting down with such a great trader who preaches swing trading, proper risk reward, fixed rate, all this type of stuff, where I kind of want to, let's just give a challenge of like growing maybe an account not only to a certain thing, but having a withdraw maybe, and then having to like run it up again.
I think the best way we should do this is, just so we don't waste time on the podcast, right when this ends, we're all going to discuss some sort of challenge. And I would like us all to include something. So like, if you would be willing to give away maybe a spot to like online trading campus.
Oh, it's 5K. It's hard.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's what I'm saying.
But or like, we really make this shit very challenging.
How about something like this? Why don't we just do like anyone out there who can grow like $1,000 account to like maybe, but it has to do with like their
we have to give them the rules.
Yeah.
You know, and they have to prove that they've stayed within these rules.
Me and Ollie will give away $1,000 on this podcast for sure. We're gonna come up with a consistency thing. So definitely pay attention to our Instagram. We're going to be coming out with a lot of reels. We're going to be posting a lot of reels before this drop with you.
It's going to be cool, yeah.
Maybe Luca and I will fund you guys one spot to
yeah, maybe we'll buy you guys a spot for that or something like that.
I think that would be sick.
Yeah. But I think that would be cool. So definitely stay tuned. We'll definitely put a video maybe right after this on what you can do to win that $1,000. But I think this is a great podcast. I don't want to just keep... we could sit here and talk for
I was
so
just
many
thinking,
hours.
like, it's already, I was just checking the time. It's like 1 hour. We could add like episode 2. Like, I really enjoyed talking to you guys. Thank you so much for really.
You've been a blessing, bro.
Yeah, you've been a blessing. I've learned a ton from you. It's been super cool. Like I said, I'm super glad that you kind of came on the social media scene, and you're doing this tour and stuff, and you've been influencing a lot of people, influenced a lot of people's lives and changing their lives ultimately. You know what I'm saying? By sharing all the gems that you've gotten to learn over your years, and sharing that insight and knowledge is really, really cool. And like I said, not only I appreciate you, but I know so many people out there appreciate what you do for the community, do for the whole space, and for all the free gems you give on your YouTube and everything. So
much appreciated.
Thank you guys. This is Vern on the podcast. I literally had such a great time. Make sure to like, comment something that you learned from him, and once again, thank you. Go to his Instagram, give him a follow, and comment. Once again, thank him for coming on the NoLimit podcast. It's been such a pleasure. Vern, until next time, thank you for being here, sir. Ollie, thanks for being here as well.
Of course, yeah. Stay tuned for the giveaway.
Stay tuned for the giveaway video now. See you guys. Peace.
Wait a second, before you leave, you thought I forgot about the giveaway? I decided I would not only be giving away 1, but 4 50K funded accounts. And not only that, but a free spot in my private mentorship where I take you under my wing, teach you everything I know, and turn you profitable in trading. All you have to do to enter is go to the link in the description that says giveaway, put in your information, you will automatically be entered in a giveaway raffle that in 2 weeks, I will be going live on this YouTube channel where all of you guys will be in a raffle. I will pick the winner of not only all the accounts, but also the person that will be going and joining my private mentorship. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Good luck to you all, and thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank Burn for coming on and sharing all that value. And like I said, good luck, guys. I'll see you all on March 19th on my YouTube channel to pick the winners. I'll see you there.